5 years ago, we would have never imagined that there was a possibility to book a cargo shipment online and in under 5 minutes. And in order to coordinate between your customers and your carriers, you're used to endless emails and phone calls, prices that are changing daily, sometimes hourly, capacity that changes even quicker than that. And your customers become dissatisfied, there can be loss of revenue, and everyone just gets a little bit frustrated for all parties. So with WebCargo eBookings, you can book your cargo smarter, much faster in 3 steps, and differentiate your company, of course, among your competition. You can even build better client relationships by providing better, accurate pricing and spend less time liaising with your airlines. Quick plan for today. First, we'll meet Camilo Garcia. He's our Global VP of Business Development and the head of our airline partnerships team. He's an absolute veteran in the air cargo industry. He has 20 years of experience, recent holding several key roles at IAG Cargo. Camilo is going to talk to you about how Emirates and WebCargo are going to change the way forwarders are making bookings online. And then I'll go ahead and demonstrate how easy it is to make an e-booking. And then we'll finish by highlighting 5 super cool tools that are really going to help you up your game when you're making these air cargo shipments. They're really going to save you a lot of time and help you work a little bit smarter to improve your business. So without further ado, Camilo, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Nicole. Really appreciate your introduction. I think, and I guess while you describe me as a veteran, I think people are expecting to see a 78-year-old person on the screen. So I'm not there yet. Like 48 years now, but yeah, sometime in the industry. So let me attempt to share my screen. All right, it is coming up right now. And what I'm going to talk today, and first of all, I've been looking at the attendees, and it's amazing to see so many people from very different countries in this webinar. So big thank you all for sharing some of your valuable time with us today. We want to make sure that we share as much of the knowledge that we have, the experience that we gain with time with our freight forwarder community. At the end, everything that we do here is to make your business more profitable, more efficient, and your lives easier. And we do that basically through connections, right? We connect with freight forwarders on one hand, we connect with freight forwarders on the other hand, with airlines on the other hand, with shippers, with TMSs. It's all about connection. And it's thanks to connectivity that we have managed to deliver what we call digital air cargo. And our latest really milestone and success here has been the partnership with Emirates Sky Cargo, one of the largest carriers in the industry, which joins WebCargo and make part of the other 35 different airlines. Some of the largest in the industry are already working with us, the likes of Qatar, the likes of Turkish Cargo are already working with us, and some of the other regional players like TAP, Finnair, SAS, AirAsia coming online very soon, LATAM Cargo, American Airlines, Delta, Air Canada. We are very proud about the partnerships that we have built with time. So this is me. Again, doesn't look like a 78-year-old person, but yeah, some years in the industry. I had the privilege to work with British Airways and Iberia, the IAG Cargo Group, and the very lucky experience as a Colombian to live and work in my country, in the States, Spain, Italy, UK, and other places of the world. And the only reason why I bring this to your attention is because that experience of living and working in different countries allowed me to build a network of connections. So it's all back to connections. We have not been successful by coincidence or because we are the smartest. We have the best connections. We deliver the best connectivity. And now at WebCargo, the largest industry e-booking platform, very proudly helping the industry to transform itself from an offline environment to a totally digital and online experience. So our industry, global freight, is massive, it's efficient, and it's mission critical. There's no need to emphasize on how critical we have been in the last 3 years, perhaps. The world economy has recognized how important we are. And our role here is not to say that global freight is inefficient, that it's old, antiquated. Of course, we've got some pockets of that. It's a massive and it's a beautiful industry. And our job here is to make it way more and more efficient every day. And we will do that again by improving the connectivity between the different stakeholders in the industry. Carriers to freight forwarders, forwarders to importers and exporters. And again, our job is not to prevent or to avoid volatility. This chart on the left-hand side shows you the change in the variation in the global freight cost per product, right? On a 40-foot container from China to the West Coast in the States. A fridge went from $58 to almost $600 in the space of 2 years. A sofa from $50 to $516. And we still bought them. They took longer and we paid even more for them. Our job here is to make sure that we help to weather the storm. And we make it through providing transparency on digitization, shorter response times, visibility, transparency, efficiencies, connectivity as the summary. So to fix that, we need more underlying digitization, which is in fact what is really lacking from an airline or from an air freight perspective. We come from an environment where rate sheets, pricing, capacity assessments, and manual quotings and manual bookings. That is how a large portion of our industry is still managed. We need to change that, right? We need to make sure that our industry is fully digital, that the relationship between the forwarder and the shipper is also digital. Because what we have today, underutilized capacity, uncontrolled prices, and shipments that should only take 2 days to move from A to B, taking actually 7 to 10 days. We need to change that, and we have the means to achieve it. So all the situation really created the race of digital air cargo. They have facilitated and created the perfect scenario for digital air cargo to come to where it is today. And hey, by the way, digital air cargo has not invented digitization. Technology has helped us connect in various different industries before we were doing it in air cargo. Let's look at Airbnb from a hotel's perspective, Uber from a passenger travel and taxi perspective, Kayak from an air travel perspective, Globo from a food delivery, Amazon will know it, and Booking equally from a hotel experience. So now it was time for air freight to come online, to be digital. Yes, air freight is different. Air freight has more difficult situations than some of these industries, but we are not unique. And digitization and technology is available to make us as digital or more digital than any of these different industries that I'm sharing on the screen. So it's simple, right? We have achieved eBookings, but that's the top of the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg, really. We're very proud, right? We have publicly announced that we are generating in the region of 150,000 bookings per quarter. That's significant. There's still lots of room to grow. But with what is beneath the surface, beneath the eBooking, that's when it becomes hugely interesting here. What we can do in terms of revenue management, capacity management, booking management, payment and reconciliation. A couple of months ago, we announced our payment handling solution, WebCargo Pay, which allows any freight forwarder in the industry to buy capacity from our carriers. If they don't have already a direct relationship, we can help facilitate that. We can provide credit and different financing options for freight forwarders. So who's already connected to WebCargo? As I said, our most recent addition, Emirates Sky Cargo. But look at this slide. This is show the evolution in those 3 years in each of these components that digitization allows the airlines to do, be it instant booking, allotments, quotation, or shipment tracking. Now, this line graph shows the evolution of the portion of air freight capacity which is now available on WebCargo. Over 40% of the industry's air capacity is now available on WebCargo. And this is growing every single day. In the next couple of weeks, we will be making several announcements of new airlines joining WebCargo. So very soon, we're very proudly going to be able to say that 50% of the industry's capacity is available to our customers in WebCargo. And it works. There's no doubt about it. This line graph at the right-hand side shows you the evolution of eBookings in the platform in a percentual way, how they change when we compare each month back to January 2020. So this is exponential. Very few industries can say that they're growing at the pace that we are. This is a statement which is very important from one of our freight forwarders in Spain. So he says, it used to take us 3 hours to book an air cargo shipment. Now it takes us 2 minutes. That's efficiencies. That's creating you to build new relationship with customers, to generate more value to your business. So what does air cargo technology transformation looks like? This is how it looks like, right? When there's no direct integration between carriers and forwarders, where there are gaps in the connection between the forwarders and shippers. Yes, there are sales portals that deliver some of that connectivity, but it's not complete. And we're moving into a scenario where it's all being managed by APIs. And then the conversation goes in both directions, between forwarders and carriers, between forwarders and shippers. Both direction, bi-directional connectivity using APIs. That is what we're experiencing today and where we see the future to be even stronger. So what comes next? It's clearly about better connections, creating new opportunities for innovation. That's our motto. That's what we're living here for. And that's what we are inviting you to join if you have not done so yet. What will we bring? Real-time pricing for your business and how you sell it to your customers. We want you to be able to display to your own customers real-time pricing and capacity. I've already spoken about WebCargo Pay, direct transactions, paying digitally and instantly. There's no reason why we can buy our insurance online, do our banking online, order our food online, everything paid in the same environment. It's now possible also through WebCargo Pay. And the best news of all, it's that we're just getting started. So everything that I've described now, it's a very early picture of the potential that it's out there. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm over to Nicole.
Perfect. Thanks, Camilo. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm now just going to demonstrate really quickly how headache-free it is to book a shipment using our eBookings tool. Okay, fantastic. So we have a customer. Let's say we're in Barcelona, and they ask us to ship over to JFK. So let's do just a basic shipment. So we're going to click on New eBooking. And we're going to pop in our origin. We'll do Barcelona to JFK. Super easy. Coming over here, we'll take a commodity. In this purpose of the demo, we'll do general cargo, but you can see the most common are listed here. You can also choose from a master list here. And then we'll check our departure date. Let's do a week from today. Step 2, shipment details. You can calculate by boxes or calculate by total shipment. If you don't have all the details the customer's given you, then you might want to click here. If not, we'll go ahead and click calculate by boxes. We'll pop in some weights and dims. Notice here that you can change centimeters and inches and mix and match these metrics, kilograms and pounds. And let us know if it's turnable or stackable. And then third step, IATA code. Just choose if you have several. Make sure you're using the correct one. And let us know if the shipment is screened or not. And we'll hit search flights and rates. And now we're communicating with all of the airlines via API connection, asking them for rates on the parameters that we need to ship. These rates are coming directly from their database. We don't manipulate the rates whatsoever. So as an example, if you were to have your friend Maria over at Lufthansa and you say, hey, Maria, I have this cargo. I need to get it from A to B and I want it to go on this day. Here are the weights and dims. What can you get me? And you're essentially requesting a spot rate in a freight forwarder terminology. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So the same info Maria is looking at to give you a rate is the info showing up on the computer screen. And these results that you see are based on 3 things. Number 1, characteristics of your cargo. Number 2, the relationship between you and the carrier via your IATA code. And number 3, the capacity. You can see here, this is called our matrix view, but we also have another view called classic. You'll find at the top once it loads. The classic view will basically give you every single possible option, but the matrix view is really great because it takes all of the search results from your criteria and presents to you the cheapest and fastest options. You can find in the purple right here, the cheapest rate available. And if you find the yellow here, this is the fastest. You can really sort them by price, arrival time, departure time, price range. Going across the top, I'll mention this later. You have other really cool filters. Airline, if you have a specific airline you'd like to use, maybe you need an express service, perhaps you need a direct flight, or even if you need a freighter only. And you can even select ranges and pricing. Pretty cool. All right, let's check a flight. perhaps we'll click this one here. It'll show us on the rate card, the itinerary, departure and arrival time, complete duration, and then your weight by kilo. We'll go ahead and choose one. All right, and here's really neat. It just breaks down our choice. So we have our airline and aircraft, flight number, and then we have our itinerary, departure and arrival. Here are some other options based on the departure date that we chose, November 3rd. If you're still happy with your selection, go ahead and click select. And that's it. So here we have our itinerary page. You can see the complete itinerary, departures and arrivals. You can double check your amount due. We have operational times, your shipment details, load information to double check before confirming, and then any cancellation policy from the airline. Over here is really neat. This will be any remarks that may affect your e-booking. Make sure you hit I confirm I've read. And then here's the airway bill number. This is interesting. You may get a prompt that says leave it blank and it'll auto apply for you. You can also enter it manually in your normal operational fashion, or you may have a drop down option that says airway bill. So you'll go ahead, choose how you like to do that, and click book the shipment. And that is it. What I would suggest also is to hit send notifications to another email if necessary. So if we go here, you'll automatically get notifications by your email, but just say, for example, you may be going away and you won't get these notifications. You can include other colleagues' emails here. And anyone who you have listed will also get the status update. So that way, when you're sipping pina coladas under a palm tree, you won't have to worry about it. And I won't go ahead and book a shipment because we are on a live environment, but I will show you if you were to go to eBookings, you'll get an email from WebCargo immediately and a separate email from the airline letting you know you've booked, that your booking has been accepted. And once it's booked, it's reflected here in this tab. And you will see all of your bookings and the statuses of your shipment, and then also the option to edit or cancel that you have the option to. And just a reminder, our booking support team follows each of your bookings and they make sure that they get accepted as fast as possible. And voila, a booking from Barcelona to JFK in just a few minutes. And like I mentioned, there is a Q&A box at the bottom. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them down there. Okay, now let me show you 5 really nifty tools you may have seen on the platform, and they can basically make the process even more easy and efficient. And we've worked really hard to be ahead of the game and ahead of the competition, and all of these tools are completely free, might I add, so good deal. These are really going to help you maximize your bookings and above all, just make your day-to-day work a heck of a lot less time consuming. So the first thing I'd like to show you is our user preferences tool. And if you're like most of the freight forwarders I talk to every week, you've got recurring shipments that you just come back to the platform to book over and over and over. So here you can set weight and dimension preferences to apply to your most frequent shipments. So you can hop right into the system, search rates and capacity on those specs, and it's just one click. And let me add, with these user preferences, it's by user. Each user can specify how they personally like to work and perform searches. So that's really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new eBooking. We'll type in, again, an origin and a destination. We'll choose a commodity. And we'll maybe go down, calculate by boxes. We'll throw in some weights and dims. Perfect. And then you go right up here to this little pin button here. Pin button, alternable and stackable. And you can go ahead and hit save. And these values will, by default, now be applied every time you make a search for live rates and capacity. If you want to revert to the system defaults, you can just hit this again and click Restore Default Options. You'll get a confirmation message here. Okay, next tool. Maybe you have a client who has to ship from Barcelona to Philadelphia every week. You can save the route as a preference for quick searching. So I suggest to my forwarders, save the routes as your clients' names. You know, you can basically create a directory of your most recurrent customers. Then, for example, when Tom's Tapas comes to you each week for shipments to book, you can just go into the client list, select it, and then go. The data will automatically populate for you. So let's type in again origin. This time, maybe we'll do Philadelphia, where I'm from. Okay, and then at the top right, put at the top of the page, add to saved searches here. You'll get a pop-up here, and you can type in, maybe it's Tom's Tapas, and hit add to list. And then you'll notice it will become available in your search manager right here, save searches. Okay, now let me show you how to manage and delete any of these saved searches. So we've added in Tom's Tapas. We can hit search manager. We've done that. We can hit Tom's Tapas here, and it will automatically populate. So you can just get going. All right. Another instance, imagine Tom's Tapas shipment dimensions change. And instead of creating a whole new one, we can just open it up again, go down to here, and maybe that we change it to, now it's 10 units. Okay. Add to save searches. And we want to replace Tom's Tapas. Easy. Boom. Okay. And if you want to delete the route, for example, maybe Tom's Tapas goes out of business. Back here, Tom's Tapas, hit the little trash can. Delete this search. Yes. Perfect. And I have another option here in save searches. Maybe you want to see these at the very top of the list as a preferred search. You can just hit this little star here, save this preferred. And then when you go in to check, it will become a preferred search. And so at the top of your list, always you will see ES collection, for example. Okay, let me show you now how to add or delete any recent searches. So that's down here. So these are all the searches I've made recently. You can basically go just to start from the beginning. Search manager, go down to recent searches. To add recent searches up to your saved searches, just simply hit the plus button and you can name it. So you may want to name it a name, or maybe you want to name it a route. So we'll call this one Barcelona to JFK route. We're already being used. Oh, that's a handy message. Okay. So in this case, we'll just do 2. Add to list. Perfect. And of course, if you want to delete, little trash bin here. Boom. And it's as easy as that. It's a really wonderful way to just create lists of your clients' details and check rates in under a minute in a very organized, efficient way. And it's also really great, for example, if you're a managing director and you want to take a look at the searches that are being made by your team, or perhaps you just want to make it easier on your colleagues to navigate around in just one click. So it's a really nice tool. Okay, the next one I want to show you is our currency converter. As freight forwarders, it's likely that you're dealing with clients all over the world. So maybe you're located in Barcelona, but you're dealing with a customer in Dubai, and you want to know the currency exchange rate for dirham. With our currency converter, you'll be able to give an estimated quote in their currency. Or maybe you're making search for live rates and you need a tool to see an estimation of how much the shipment's going to be in your local currency before you book. This is a really easy tool to solve that without having to leave the platform. So let's do that example. So let's try Barcelona to Dubai. Okay, we'll select a day. General cargo, we popped in some weights and dims. We have an IATA, we'll hit search. Perfect. And you'll notice on the rate card that's displayed that the rates you're given are displayed in the currency of the country that you're logged in as. There will be a little drop-down menu at the top, you'll see right here. And you can instantly convert the rate price into the currency you prefer. So right now you see we are in euros, but we want to get into dirham. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit that. And instantly converts differently. The source we have is called Open Exchange, and it's updated several times per day. So you'll really find that it's extremely accurate. Voila. All right, second to last tool here. A topic that becomes more and more relevant every year, CO2 emissions. And each year there's more and more companies whose focus is on sustainability, and they're preferring forwarders who share that same focus or can provide them an estimate of what their book shipment is emitting. So the freight industry alone contributes 7% of emissions globally. And so for this, we've created a carbon emissions calculator. So the tool is a really big advantage to be able to give your clients an estimate of their carbon footprint when they're shipping through your company. So let me show you where to find that. So on this same search, above you can see the estimated average of CO2 emissions. Of course, if you check one in particular, it'll give you an even more estimated. If the airline offers its own CO2 calculation, you'll see it in a little leaf, and you'll be able to see that within the rate card. And that estimate is pulled directly from the airline's website along with the live rate through an API connection. If the airline does not offer this calculation, the CO2 summary can be found in the review and book page, and that would be on the next one. Right here. Voila, right here. And you just hover over that icon, you'll be shown the breakdown of the estimate. And that's it. You can help your aviation meet its environmental targets and then appeal to a whole new client base who have this growing need to be greener. So if you want to learn more about this tool, I'll ask Joe. Joe, if you would paste a link to read further more about the Freightos emission calculator in the bottom, that'd be awesome. And finally, copy flight itinerary tool. I really did not realize how much of a big deal this was to forwarders until I demonstrated it in my first couple demos when I started here. This always gets the ooh ah moment. So I understand it's a pain after you book a shipment to relay that entire flight itinerary back to your customer, and also to make sure it's complete and error-free. So to avoid any mistakes and just pure time consumption, we've made a really great tool to tackle this. So when you're making a pre-booking or post-booking, you need to share the itinerary details with your customer. You basically see this itinerary here, this blue button, copy. And then if you were to take a notepad, so maybe you're pasting this into an email, copy and paste. And I am sharing my Google screen, so I'm not sure if we can see that, but I will paste it into the chat. So if you refer to the chat at the bottom, this is what you'll get from the copy and paste. So it's a super simple way to confirm itinerary details to finalize your shipment in under 30 seconds. Nice, neat, efficient. Perfect. And voila, these are 5 tools that'll really help you get ship done with a P. Give competitive pricing fast, supply world-class customer service, win yourself some more business, and I guarantee your customers will be back for more.